I want to go over the third conjugation verbs worksheet. And in the worksheet, it's all one, but I want to take them one at a time. For example, let's look at the first one here, number 7. Quid agunt? That's what are they doing. Agunt is the present tense. What will you do? That's the future tense, obviously in English. So how are you going to get the future tense? Well, first of all, you have to recognize that ago, agere, egi, actum is a third conjugation verb. And you know that because agere is a short ere. So let's redraw our chart. First conjugation, second conjugation, third conjugation, present. No, this is not how I've done it. First conjugation, second conjugation, third conjugation, present, imperfect, and future. The first conjugation, the present tense, is an A. It has that A before the end. Consider amat. The second conjugation, it has an E at the end, before the ending. Consider doket. Third conjugation has an I, like this word here, like dukit. The imperfect is ba, ba, ba all the way through. That's not a problem. The future tense is a be, bi, or bu, depending on where it falls, be, bi, or bu. But for the third conjugation verbs, it's an E. So we have our stem here, ag, the ago, agere, but it's an E is the ending, is the sign for the future. What will you do? Third person, second person singular, future active indicative, agis. In other words, the present tense is agis, the future tense is agis, the imperfect is agebas. So, what will you do? Ages. Or I guess it could be agetis if you wanted to make it plural. Number 2, they were leading the men to me. Hominem, ad me, they were leading. They were leading. This is all one word. Third person, plural, imperfect, active, indicative, and the word we need to use is duco, ducere. So, D-U-C-E, get our stem in there. We know we're going to need a B-A for the imperfect tense, and then the N-T, duque bant. They were leading. The present tense would be ducit. The future tense would be duquet. Because again, in the future tense, the sign for the future of a third conjugation verb is this E right here. Number 9, lead the man to me. Lead the man to me. And I don't believe I've addressed this. Wheelock does. This is the imperfect, okay? And normally the imperfect, like amare, the imperfect, hey, love, ama. Dokeo, teach. Doke, habeo. Habe, have. So it makes sense that duco, ducere, you would want duque to be the imperative. Hey, lead all these people here. No. For 4 words in Latin, and only 4 words, the singular imperative is D-U-C for lead, for example. I'll tell you all the 4 words. Dic, duc, fac, fair. How's that? Dic, duc, fac, fair. Dic means say, duc means lead, fac means do, fair means carry. Or bear it, fair it. But let's focus. As fun as those are to say, don't get me wrong, dic, duc, fac, fair. The one word that we're focusing on is duc. You want it to be duque, but this is an irregular imperative and only one of 4 in all of Latin. So duc, lead the man to me. Dum tyrannus copias ducit possumus nihil. While the tyrant leads the troops, we can. This says can, but we know that's the agere. It takes the In English, it's not the complementary infinitive. Could be. But in Latin, possum, this word here takes the infinitive, takes the complementary infinitive. Literas ad virginem, he is writing a letter to us, so we want the present tense. This one is so tricky, it will drive you bananas, okay? The word, as you can see here, is scribo, scribere. So S-C-R-I-B, okay, is our stem. Well, you might want to argue scribe is your stem. And as you know, this is a third conjugation verb because it's a short ERE, so that A-E is going to shorten up to an I. So the present tense, the present equals scribit. The imperfect equals scribebat, and the future is scribet. Where the confusion comes in, and if you're afraid you're going to be confused, just shut your ears right now. This bi is part of the word. It is not the be, bi, or bu of the future tense. Scribo will get you each and every time because the present tense has a bi in it, because it's like the Latin word for scribe. We get scribe from it. It just means to write. So that bi is just part of the word. I suppose every once in a while the Romans would say, hey, you notice the bi? That bi confuses me. I just don't think it happened that much. I just don't think it happened. Let me reiterate our chart. First, second, third. The first conjugation, the hallmark, ARE. Second conjugation, hallmark, long ERE. Third conjugation, the hallmark, short ERE. The present tense. The present tense, the imperfect, and the future. The present tense of an ARE verb is A, amat. The present tense for an ER verb is E, doket, habet. The present tense for a short ERE verb, third conjugation, is an I. And that's what we have here. The scribit is a present tense. Let's do the imperfect. BA all the way across, BA, BA. If you want to get technical, it's ABA, EBA, EBA. The future tense, B, BI, BU, B, BI, or BU, but the future tense here is an E. I would argue the present tense is fairly regular. Okay, A, E, I, we get it. We can deal with that. The imperfect tense, BA, is all the way through. The future tense is just inexplicable. And looking at this, if your chart wants to go horizontally, as I've done here, or on the first one I wrote, no, I did do it this exact same way. This exact same way. This is good. Good. Sorry about that. We're all good. I just flaked out for a second. I was concerned I was not being consistent, but I am. Number 12, Librum Magnum, you were writing. Third conjugation, you, so you were writing. Whew, that's a big sign right away. Were writing is the imperfect. Imperfect. You, second person, singular, imperfect, active, indicative. We have scribe is our stem. Add that BA at there for the tense indicator and the S at the end. As I've said in this one here, that EBA, it may be helpful to you to think of it as scribe plus the EBA plus the S. I don't know. I mean, I just don't know. Some people have thought it easier that way. I've always thought of it as the first way. However you want to divide it, scribebas is the word. 13, libros bonos, you will write. Third conjugation verb, what is the sign of the future for a third conjugation verb? This E right here. So, scribase. How would I say you are writing? Scribis. Because that I is the sign of the present tense, E is the sign of the future. See how we go over here? In the present tense, I is the sign for an ERE, a third conjugation verb, and the E is the sign for the future. So that's the difference between scribis, you write, scribes, you will write. Libros, we shall write. So we have the future again. The sign of the future is an E. Scribemus. It doesn't really have to be any more difficult than that. We shall write, first person plural, future active indicative. Scribemus. 15, copiamne. There we go. We'll get rid of that. That's a question. Do you have, present tense, second person singular, present, active, indicative. Do you have? Habes. And because we're going to make it, do you habes at the end? Do you have? Because, let's go back to our chart here, an ERE verb, the sign for the present tense is an E. Habes, do you have an abundance of good books? The teacher teaches. Present tense, third person singular, present, active, indicative. This is a long ERE, so that long ERE is going to stay right there. It is not going to shorten it into an I, if you want to think of it that way. Or if you just want to go back to your chart, present tense, second conjugation, just an E. So doquet, sorry. Doquet. He teaches. The boys do not thank the teacher. Shame on them. The boys thank. The boys is, the boys is plural, third person, plural. And it's present tense, present, active, indicative. We're going to use this verb right here based off of that stem. That's a short ERE. What happens to that short ERE? Boop, becomes an I. Except you want it to be agunt. You want it to be agint. But I've said in another video, the Romans just don't like that int sound. So in the third person plural, it becomes agunt. And again, the only reason is sound. 18, few men were thanking our state. Were thanking, that's the imperfect. A sure sign of the imperfect. Third person plural, imperfect, active, indicative. They were thanking, so it's going to be an EBA, EBANT if you want to go that far. Agebant. Let's put those together. Agebant. 19. Tyrannus magnus copias excivitate nostra. The tyrant will lead great forces out of our state. So the will lead, that's a future tense of this verb, ducere. And the sign for the future of a third conjugation verb is duquet, is an E. Duquet is the present tense. He is leading. Duquet, he will lead. 20. Magna copia pecuniae homines ad sapientem known. A great abundance of money does not lead. Does not lead. Present tense. And a great supply is singular. Great supply, sorry. Third singular. Present. Active. Active. Indicative. And we're going to use this one. What is the sign for the present tense of this verb? It's an I. So duquet. This is just, these two are meant to go side by side. 19, will is duquet. 20, duquet. 21, librine. There's a question. Our books, our books or will, good books, lead. Will it lead? Future tense. Future tense. Third person, books are plural. Plural. Future. Active. Indicative. It's a future tense. And it's got of this verb right here, which is a third conjugation verb. Sign of the future is an E, right? E. ENT, because it's future, duquent. Yeah, duquent. Romans got no problem with an ant. It's the int they don't like. Ant is fine. Int is not. Surely that makes sense. It did to the Romans. 22. Do we often? This is really the present tense. We do often. We lead. We lead. That's the present tense. The sign for the future is a present. For the present tense of this verb is an I. Ducimus. We lead. Present tense. The future would be ducamus. Because the future tense is an E, the present tense is an I. 23. Reason, ratio, homines ad bonum vitam, potest. Potest, oh, there's our friend. Complementary infinitive. Look for that complementary infinitive. Ducere, that's all it is, ducere. Present active infinitive. Complementary infinitive, it is that second principal part right there. 24. Bonum vitam, are you? Are you leading? So that's a present tense, and we're given the verb. Agere. Oh, third present tense is an I. Agis. And since it's the first word, since it's going into the first spot right here, agisne, or agitisne, if you want to make it plural. Hey, are you all leading a good life? Are every one of you leading a good life? And 25, to a good friend, thanks, always give, always thanks. This is just your infinitive, age. Now when you make it plural, hey y'all, everybody out there, you all always thank, you do shorten it up to agite. The rule is the same, whether you're putting it agis, agimus, that E, this short E, this poor little E shrinks to an I. And when you put that ending there. All right, I hope this was helpful. Be sure you take this quiz. These very questions are on the quiz. And I really want you to understand this topic. And let me know if you have questions. Thanks.